Hello everyone. In this short video, I'm going to explain the use of a financial ratio related to the fixed asset. We call fixed asset turnover ratio. Is an indicator of how efficient a company uses their fixed asset to generate sales or service revenues. The formula for the ratio is the denominator is your net sales. So that's your sales revenue or service revenue minus the sales discount or sales return. So total net sales. Then divided by the average fixed assets. Average means to simple calculate, we can use, for example, if you are doing annual, we can use the beginning fixed assets plus the ending fixed assets, then divided by 2. So average the beginning and ending fixed assets. So fixed asset turnover and similar to other turnover ratios is the efficiency indicator. So the higher of this ratio is indicating the company is more efficient to use this group of assets to generate related revenues. So we can see if you want to improve this ratio, want to be more efficient, a simple way is to increase the net sales, right? Given there's no change on the fixed assets, but we can increase the sales revenue, so efficiency will be better. So that's something similar you can think about. But more complicated is the denominator, the bottom of the number. So we can see the average fixed assets. And this fixed asset is not the cost, is the book value of the fixed assets. We know the book value or carry value equals to the cost of the fixed assets, then minus the accumulated depreciation. So how we can use the fixed assets to improve this ratio is more complex than a simple increase or decrease in net sales, because this is a deviation, right? So the ratio is a deviation. If we want to have the ratio increase, so you can increase the numerator or decrease the denominator, so decrease the bottom number. If we want to decrease the average fixed assets, and there are two factors involved, the cost and accumulated depreciation. So if you want to, for example, decrease the cost, because if you decrease the cost, you can increase the ratio itself. But decrease the cost of the assets, let's show my next. So if you want to decrease the cost, that means you are getting rid of the related fixed assets. For example, you dispose your equipment, buildings, or machinery. That may not be good for the company for future development because you are shrinking the scale or the size of the company. So that's not something good in general. We don't want to reduce the scale of the operation. So, but when a fixed assets reach their retirement life, like, if they already very old, but we can think about replace them or replace your old assets with newer assets, but not getting rid of them only. So that's the way you update your existing fixed assets replacement. The other way you can decrease the bottom number is increase your accumulated depreciation. But this is unsure depending on why you take depreciation. Normally, you need to take a regular depreciation based upon the approach you chose. But if you intentionally increase the accumulated depreciation, that may not be a good management also, because you are trying to accelerate the depreciation, and it may not reflect your true financial condition, and it can cause additional problems. So I'm just saying, good or bad, you need to analyze in the actual situation. But don't do it as intentionally to mislead your users, or we can say, manipulate the numbers is not a good sign. So the way we improve or increase the fixed assets turnover is it should be a comprehensive approach rather than just a simple increase or decrease something. So we should try to maximize the sales revenue, like in the meantime, increase the sales revenue while manage the overall fixed asset condition, such as timely replacement of your old assets, rather than just let the assets deteriorate without proper replacement. Then also control the purchase of new assets to try to minimize the cost if you need to buy new assets. In the meantime, take appropriate depreciation expense as it should be, or rather than intentionally manipulate the numbers, try to improve the ratio. That's like to avoid this financial manipulation or like earnings management. So it's a comprehensive approach for fixed asset management and sales management. So in that way, we hope the fixed assets will serve the company in the best approach to help generate revenues. So that's kind of the question in the last homework. So in the homework 10.1, the last one is a financial ratio analysis related to this. Let me switch my share. So stop share this, but I share the other one. So if you see the last question in 10.1, the homework is trying to make assessment. We have 3 visualizations. So it's like a Tableau output. The first one, this is the financial asset turnover ratio with land excluded. So didn't include the land because land we don't need to take depreciation. So if you're looking for this turnover ratio without land, is we have some like good signs, right? So this like the green bar indicate fixed assets turnover ratio. So over the time is increasing, so seems to be good. But for details, we also need to analyze the this increase is because of the sales revenue increase or the decrease of the bottom number. So there are a few questions led to investigate what the reasons for the turnover ratio going up over the years. Because you can tell the red line, this red line is your net sales. So net sales is actually over time is a decreasing trend. But in the meantime, net depreciable asset is also decreasing for some reasons. And overall, when we divide the net sales by the net depreciable asset, we see a increasing trend for the ratio. So for the net sales, it may not be a good sign because you can see that the sales revenue keep going down. And the turnover can go up is basically because we have also reduced depreciable asset, fixed assets. So that's maybe indicating the shrinking size of your usable assets. Like we just discussed, it may not be a good condition for the overall company, even you see the turnover ratio is going up, right? So that's like how you see the financial analysis can help the managers to detect the problem, to present the data, but to analyze the data and make decisions. This is a good or bad situation and anything we can improve in the future. That's the first turnover ratio chart. The second one, we include you added the land back to the calculation. You add more asset in the bottom in the cost, but they don't have depreciation. So the bottom line number certainly going up. The total depreciable fixed assets. So average, you can see this orange, then is going up a slight or flat, but slightly going up, rather than in the prior chart is going down without land. They have the same sales revenue trend, so revenue no change. So overall, you can see the turnover ratio is showing a decreasing trend because the bottom is going up, including the land. So it's a different picture or different situation as compared to the first chart. So it's not in confliction because the first chart, we didn't include the land, and second chart, we include. So when you analyze and or like talk to the management, you need to consider both of the situations. Then trying to maybe give their additional idea or asking them, okay, so how, like what's the situation for your fixed asset management? Are we really shrinking the size? Okay, what's the problem? Why we have a decreased depreciable asset over time? You want to find the reasons. That's additional investigation. Also, you have a third chart to help you understand, okay, which group of fixed assets we have. So like, I think we have 10 or 5 group, right? So you have these different items. But anyway, this is a starting point to help us open a analyzing perspective. Okay, data incorporates the data analytic view for our accounting and financial analysis job. So when you finish your accounting cycle, you are rather just not finish the journal entry or financial statement. After we calculated these ratios, after we visualize them, and the additional analysis of what this information can be helpful for the management. Lots of the time, we don't really have a 100, like this is the answer key, right? Absolutely right. Mostly is just a situation we want to analyze. You have different options, different explanations, but what's the best story we can compare and present to the management? So that will be the incremental contribution from the new accountant position.